Do you feel emotionally connected to your plants? As if in the process of caring for them, they as well are caring for you? What about planty DIYs and thrifting for plant items? If I have your attention, then the Plants by Wade Lee podcast is for you. Join me, plant friends, as we dig deep and experience the magic of plants.
We were talking about the plant collecting, and I started off always having plants, but when I started collecting them back in 2016, my sister-in-law passed away. A month later, my dad passed away. 5 months later, my mother-in-law passed away. And then I ended up with about triple my normal houseplant collection. Just that's kind of the gifts you get at the funerals and stuff. And I ended up with plants that I'd never heard of or never seen. And it was back probably 2017 when I somebody's like, well, you could probably find that on the houseplant hobbyist page. And I'm like, what is this you talk of? So I didn't even know. I've had plants forever, but I didn't realize what the world of plants actually was. I didn't realize all these different types of varieties. And so I started joining those different Facebook groups. Then that's when I started realizing how many more there were and ones I wanted to catch. And then around that same time, my kids started getting to that age where they didn't need me as much anymore. My favorite thing in life is having 3 kids and raising them. And so it's not a coincidence that my plant collection exploded as my kids needed me less. I don't mean to get emotional, sorry. But
no, I love it because it's so true. And Felicia, you saying, I got all these plants from the funeral, and it's like, growing up, I would be like, why are we sending them a lily? Like, this is so, they don't want, like, but knowing, because I feel your heart right now, and I understand, and it was through grief and watching my partner die of cancer before my eyes that made me realize that you're right. Like, I wasn't a caregiver anymore, and I needed to care for something so badly.
Yes.
And like, I know some people are like, oh, he's just a weird plant guy. You know, I know clients in the salon are like, this weird plant guy, but it really saved me. It really did. And it's so cool that like this hobby like can bring you in together with your whole family. And you said, you know, that those are your favorite reels, and there's some of my favorite reels watching yours too. Like the kids just being like, oh gosh, mom, the plant lover. Like, it's so cool though. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because it's so beautiful. And
thank you.
And it is a testament of what plants do, you know, that they are a reflection of who we are as humans and energy. And sometimes, you know, I said too, like, you know, we need to prune things in our own life, and it's crazy the parallels of like pruning your plants and just how much you grow, you know. And that's
for sure,
you know, with the love of the people in our lives too. There's such a beautiful heirloom things to hold on to, that, you know, plants that you had you know, received from loved ones. It's a special thing.
It is. It really is.
I love that. With the success that you've had with social media, what advice would you give to an up and coming content creator?
I think it really depends on what type of content creator you want to be. Do you want to be a content creator just to create as a creative outlet? Because that's how it is for me. Or do you want to be a content creator to grow your following and eventually get paid for everything you do? So I think that really depends on the answer that I would give. If you're wanting to grow your following and wanting to be successful at it, then I would suggest that you post consistently. If you don't have anything good to post about, just a picture of, you know, our niche is plants. So a picture of a plant with its growing conditions that it needs, or the health or whatever, the care requirements that it needs, you know, just so you're posting something. It doesn't have to be out of this world every single time. But when you do make a reel and you do want it to grow, then you have to make sure that it is either educational or entertaining or both. If people aren't going to save it or they're not going to share it, then it's probably not going to get a lot of views. And I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of people don't realize. They'll post pictures of uh, panning over their plants with a nice song in the background. It's like, why am I not getting any views? And it's like, well, we all have plants. We all see that same view. And I love seeing everybody else's plants and I comment on them because I enjoy seeing them. But new followers are going to be like, I don't need to see this. You know,
Right.
what can you teach me? What can you share with me that I don't already know? Or, hey, I got to send this to my friend from work because this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to think of when you're posting content and wanting it to get views is, am I teaching anybody anything, or am I giving something out that people are going to want to share?
Yeah. That's why I wanted you on the podcast too, Felicia, because it is so authentic and it's so relatable, the the things with your husband, and then also the past, the reels with the past. It's like, we all uh experience that as a plant owner.
Yeah.
You are not gonna ever escape that. So sometimes it's good to see something, especially like because it will happen that morning and then you pop on and then you have a reel about like what you're doing or what you're using.
Yep.
Um, with that, do you ever get recognized when you're out in the real world plant shopping or doing your grocery shopping? People are like,
My
"Hey,
town that I live in isn't.
Felicia."
I don't live in a very large town, and I don't promote myself publicly. So people I work with don't even know I have this. So
Really?
yes.
That is
I
insane.
I know I had my account for probably a year before most of my family even knew about it. My kids, my
That's so
husband knew because
funny.
I would be recording stuff, but
Right.
it's just something I'm just not a self promoter. So I have my personal Facebook and I have my Pothos Facebook. I have personal Instagram, my Pothos Instagram, and they haven't collided yet.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I
There's
love
a
that.
few people I have friends with that I've met on here and vice versa. But yeah, I have. There's even a muscatine plant page that I help admin, and I have never shared anything from possibly about plants on it. It's
Yeah.
I'm just Felicia on there, so
Right.
it's really weird. I don't know. I'm not a self promoter, I guess.
Right. Well, and being where you are, right? Like rural Iowa, there are not a lot of rare plant shops for you to go plant shopping.
There's
So
not.
you're
I'm in between. The two biggest areas are the Quad Cities and Iowa City, and I'm in between them. So it's almost 45 minutes to an hour drive to go anywhere out to
yeah.
get a nice plant. And planted in Dubuque is almost a 2 hour drive for me, and that's the first time I actually seen some rare plants in real life. Was going to that plant shop, which was 2 hours away.